Councilman Danner, and behind Councilman Danner is Councilmember Curran.
I want to thank you for letting me jump ahead here, because we do have our own council meeting to start in about 15 minutes. I think I'll make it.
Not a problem.
Everything that Mo said is true. This is a difficult situation. It's not going to have a quick solution. I sit on the Homeless Leadership Network and agree with everything. The housing first is the most important key, and that is also probably one of the most expensive and things that takes the longest. Since 2005, St. Petersburg has spent $7 million, paired up with over $40 million to construct 320 affordable housing units just in the last 2 years that are either under construction or being bid in planning stage now. So those things are happening, but they take a long time. They take a lot of money. The inventory and research, I sit on the technical advisory group with Dr. Cutler and Jeff Lyash. We ask that we look at the existing ability to expand the inventory and research where there's options to expand beds, as well as perhaps refine the network and look for more efficiencies. And those are great things, but they're also going to take a lot of time and a lot of money to get to that point. The outreach team we've had in St. Petersburg for over a year is working fantastic. The problem is there is no place to place the individuals that the outreach team reaches. If the current beds are full, they talk to the people, make sure they're okay, but if there is no place to take them to be assessed, to wait for the services they need, they stay on the street. We do need a better network system, and as you heard, the HMIS system is the key to that. We need to get all our agencies communicating with each other, but the reality is we do need more emergency beds. One of the things we found out with Tent City is that it is a beacon. I spent the night in Sophie Sampson's shelter one night with Councilman Bennett. I've worked several shifts down at the Tent City, and people are coming all day long looking for help. They're coming from across the bay, they're coming from south, they're coming from Michigan, and they're coming from all over Pinellas County. They're waiting at the gate of Tent City when the providers show up, and they're camping out around there. They need help. They're coming there for help. It has become a beacon. And that's why I think the PSTA site is the interim solution. You have an opportunity to relatively quickly put up 150 beds. They're going to work with the outreach teams. That'll give us the 3 to 5 years it takes to do the housing first, the inventory of the existing situations, to better network and build the best system. And finally, what I want to make the most important note is we need to keep in mind that while it's great to do all these things and create a better system, we have to keep focused on the existing conditions. There are hundreds of people sleeping on the street tonight. Their safety, their dignity, that needs to be addressed. We have no place to put them. We have no way to help them. The impacts of that are affecting our neighborhoods, our businesses, their quality of life. We need a solution as soon as possible on that. We also need to look at our current assessment center. The success of what's going on at Tent City is a 1960s Bluebird bus converted to an assessment center with a folding table outside. And it's moving hundreds of people into housing and programs. And that's a shame. We can do better than that. And we need to do better than that. And I encourage you to consider the recommendation of the Homeless Leadership Network. Look at the PSTA site as the interim solution to get us up and running so we have the ability to figure out what's next. But in doing so, roof over your head, running water, flush toilets, and a place, to start from. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilmember Curran. Behind her, Mr. Lyash.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here today. I won't repeat a lot of what Councilmember Danner said, but we've both been working on this issue tirelessly for a long time, and I was asked by the mayor to sit on his task force representing the neighborhoods and businesses that are directly impacted by the homeless. And I think everybody is aware that sure, we want to look for permanent housing, and the housing first model is something that everybody strives for, but the emergency shelters are very, very important. And unfortunately, as Councilmember Danner said he spent a lot of time down at New Hope, what you all refer to as Tent City. And I spent quite a bit of time down there also, and I also sent letters inviting all of you there, and none of you took me up on my offer, which I was very sorry, because I think you get a completely different story when you're down there working with the folks and all that I'm sure can be relayed by people such as Mo Freeney and Sarah Snyder. We have to make sure that we have the emergency shelters. I think everybody on council and in the city of St. Petersburg is very frustrated at this point when we thought we were going so far with the possibility of the PSTA site as an interim facility, and now I'm receiving letters from the chair saying that now maybe we need to start going through the process. Well, we should have started that process a long time ago. And I really appreciate Commissioner Welch was at the Council and Neighborhood Association meeting last night, speaking on the homeless issue. And of course, all those people are very concerned because they have unhealthy conditions in their neighborhoods and in front of their businesses from the homeless. And it is not a good situation for the homeless either when you talk about health and safety. And he even said the one thing that we don't want to do is the county does not want to pay for the homeless of New Jersey to live here. Well, the city of St. Petersburg doesn't want to pay for the homeless of New Jersey either. And I think if you look at the figures and say that the amount of homeless are in St. Petersburg with the highest numbers, well, of course they are, because we've got the highest number of facilities to care for those people. If you call, I think one of the main problems is the system. If you call, I could ask probably 5 different individuals in this room for information on where do I go for transitional housing, for emergency shelter beds, if I'm a man, if I'm a woman, if I just need a shower, if I need a meal. And I will guarantee you that I will get 5 different lists. And if you just made a phone call now to the 211 system and said you were in St. Pete or Largo or Clearwater, you'd find out that St. Petersburg has about 14 facilities. Largo has 1, Clearwater has 5, and Tarpon has 2. So it's obvious that St. Petersburg is not suffering from a NIMBY situation. I think they've gone above and beyond at really welcoming